Puppy trapped for days finds his forever friend. The world holds its breath. You are here, resting inside a quiet space where the seconds seem to lengthen and soften, where time no longer rushes, but drips like gentle rain upon the earth. You close your eyes and listen to the hush that wraps around you. Beneath the layers of silence, something stirs. A small life waits. A puppy, alone and tucked away from the rushing world, feels the weight of waiting. His breath rises and falls in a fragile rhythm. He does not know the hours or the days, for his body does not measure time the way clocks do. His heartbeat is his only clock now. Steady, slow, patient. You begin to feel the rhythm of that tiny heart, each beat a quiet tap against the walls of time. It is here, in this space, that you come to understand. Animals do not measure time in numbers. They feel time in pulses, in shadows, in the aching pull of hunger, or the soothing warmth of rest. For the puppy, time is a shape made by the body. It stretches when hunger deepens, contracts when sleep arrives, expands when loneliness presses against the ribs. His waiting is not a calculation. It is a feeling, a soft river of sensations that guide him gently through each passing moment. You remember how your own body tells time, not in ticking hands or glowing screens, but in the stretching of your limbs when you wake, the slowing of your breath when night falls. Your body, like his, knows a more ancient way of sensing the world. A rhythm written in the rise of the sun, the scent of morning, the way shadows lengthen across the walls. The puppy waits, wrapped in stillness, but the stillness is not empty. It hums softly, full of life. The earth beneath him carries vibrations, faint footsteps in the distance, a leaf tumbling nearby, the sigh of distant wind. Each sound touches him like a gentle brush of air. Though he is trapped, he is not alone in this waiting. You feel your own heartbeat slow as you sink deeper into this moment. You breathe in the softness of time, the patience it asks of you. The puppy's body knows to wait. His instincts, passed down like delicate threads through generations of ancestors, tell him to stay still, to save his energy, to trust that something will come. In this quiet, you come to understand how animals sense time without calendars or clocks. You drift into the knowledge that many creatures, like the puppy, rely on their bodies to guide them. Some creatures follow the warmth of the sun to know the hour. Others listen to the calls of their kind to know when to gather, when to hide, when to move. You remember the stories of birds who feel the seasons shift, their bodies tugged gently by invisible strings as they prepare to fly across oceans. You think of turtles who remember the rhythm of the tides, who find their way home not by sight, but by sensing the magnetic heartbeat of the earth. Animals live inside these ancient rhythms, these soft maps written not in numbers, but in feeling. The puppy's world is small, but it is filled with the echoes of life. His ears twitch at distant sounds. His nose drinks in faint traces of air. His body listens in ways we often forget. As you rest here beside him, you begin to listen too. Time, you realize, is not a race in this place. It is a soft companion, sitting quietly at your side, asking nothing of you except to be present. The waiting, though it feels still, is alive with meaning. The puppy's body remembers the warmth of his mother, the gentle nudge of his siblings, the steady rhythm of care. He does not know how many days have passed since he last felt those things. His body does not mark days. It remembers through feeling, the absence of touch, the hunger that arrives and stays, the coolness of the ground beneath him. You begin to wonder how much of your own life you have measured through feeling instead of counting. The weight of a long wait at a hospital door. the sweet ache of time spent with someone you love, the stretching minutes of silence after hearing difficult news. We know time this way too, though we often forget. You breathe slowly, sinking deeper into this soft river of thought. You feel a closeness to the small life waiting here. His patience is not a choice. It is a rhythm gifted to him by nature, a gentle waiting that carries him through each quiet breath. In the distance, footsteps move across the earth. The vibrations travel like whispers through the soil, soft and distant, but reaching the waiting ears of the puppy. His ears flicker, his nose lifts, his body leans gently toward the sound. He does not know what approaches, but something stirs within him, something small and hopeful. You feel it too, the ripple of something coming closer, the beginning of movement inside the stillness. You rest here, suspended between waiting and wondering, your body gently wrapped in the rhythm of slow time. Somewhere nearby, the earth carries whispers. Beneath the ground, soft sounds begin to bloom. And as you listen, you may begin to wonder how those whispers travel, how the puppy feels them first, how the world beneath our feet is alive with quiet messages we rarely hear. Perhaps it is time to follow those whispers, to drift into the soft spaces where sound travels, like secrets beneath the ground. The world beneath your feet is not as silent as it seems. There are whispers there, soft and steady, moving like threads through the soil. You rest in this quiet space, your breath slow, your body calm, and you begin to notice that sound is not only heard through the air, it travels through the ground, through the bones, through the heart. The puppy, still waiting, has ears attuned to these gentle messages. His world, though small, is alive with distant footsteps, faint rumbles, and subtle shifts in the earth. His ears catch what your ears often miss. His body feels the hum of life long before your eyes can see it. You begin to understand that sound is not always loud. Some sounds are soft enough to kiss the edges of silence. The tiniest vibrations can carry meaning. For the puppy, the footfall of a rescuer walking nearby is not just a sound. It is a ripple that reaches him through the skin of the ground, a secret path guiding his hope. You imagine the journey of sound as it moves, how it presses into the soil, curls around roots, slides through stones, until it finally finds him, waiting and listening. His small body, pressed close to the earth, becomes a quiet instrument, tuned to receive these soft messages. You drift into the science of this, gently. You think of how elephants can feel the approach of distant herds through vibrations in the ground, how moles navigate their dark tunnels by sensing the faintest tremors, how spiders know the story of their web by the tiny pulls and shivers of silk. These animals, like the puppy, live in a world where sound is not just something heard by ears, but something felt by the body. A world where the ground itself becomes a storyteller. You begin to wonder how often you have missed these whispers, walking quickly over the earth, listening only to the louder things. You wonder what secrets the soil has tried to tell you. The puppy's ears twitch, his nose lifts, and in that small movement, you realize that sound, scent, and feeling are woven together. He does not wait with his ears alone. His entire body listens, skin, whiskers, heartbeat, all attuned to the subtle language of the earth. And now, so are you. You let yourself soften into the rhythm of listening, of waiting for the next quiet message to arrive, carried by vibrations, wrapped in the scent of life. You begin to sense that something is moving closer, not just in sound but in smell, in the shifting air, in the way the earth seems to hold its breath. Perhaps it is time to follow that next trail, to drift into the delicate language of scent, the invisible path that carries stories through the air. The air is full of stories. You cannot see them, but the puppy does. His world is not made only of sights and sounds. It is stitched together by scent, by the gentle threads of invisible trails left behind by life. His nose lifts, soft and careful, drinking in the stories that drift through the air. For him, each breath is a map. Each scent is a quiet voice, a guide, a memory that hangs between the trees, clings to the stones, and settles into the earth. You begin to notice the shape of this hidden world. The human nose can only follow the boldest trails, but the puppy reads delicate notes. The lingering sweetness of distant footsteps, the earthy softness of damp leaves, the sharp bite of metal close by. You drift into the science of scent, gently. Molecules travel through the air, floating, waiting to be caught by sensitive receptors. For the puppy, this is not just smell. It is survival. His nose weaves these signals into meaning, into direction, into something that pulls him closer to what he needs. Scent holds memory, too. The puppy remembers his mother's warmth through scent, remembers safety, remembers belonging. In this quiet moment, you realize that scent is a language the puppy has always known. His nose twitches again. A new story arrives on the wind, a faint, familiar trace. You follow him now, breathing slowly, moving toward the promise carried on the air, toward what waits just beyond the next bend. The search begins with a quiet promise. Somewhere, a rescuer walks with careful steps, each footfall pressing gently into the earth. Their breath is steady, their heart is patient, moving in time with the soft pulse of hope. You walk with them now, feeling the rhythm of their body, a pace that does not rush, a pace that listens. Searching is not loud, it is not hurried. It is a quiet devotion, a heartbeat stretched across distance. The rescuer's body holds something ancient, the deep instinctive bond between human and animal, a connection that has shaped both species over countless years. You drift into this science slowly. Humans and animals have walked side by side for thousands of seasons, sharing warmth, sharing trust. The rescuer's senses are attuned, not just by training, but by something older, a readiness to notice, to care, to reach. You begin to understand that the bond between humans and animals is not simply choice. It is written into the body's chemistry, into the soft pulse of oxytocin that rises when eyes meet, when trust begins to form. You feel the footsteps continue, steady and sure. The air carries faint scents, the earth holds quiet vibrations, and the rescuer moves closer, guided by determination and something more, the gentle tug of connection. And as the path unfolds beneath their feet, you may begin to wonder how that first moment of meeting will feel, when two heartbeats, once distant, finally begin to find the same rhythm. The first meeting arrives softly. There is no loud celebration, no sudden rush, only the gentle unfolding of two lives quietly finding each other. You watch as the rescuer slows their steps, their breath soft and careful, as though they know the space between them and the puppy is made of something fragile, something tender. The puppy's small body trembles, unsure if the sound, the scent, the shape before him brings safety or harm. You feel the edge of his hesitation, the thin layer of fear wrapped around him like a threadbare blanket. Fear is not loud here. It is silent, sitting deep in the chest, waiting for a sign. The rescuer lowers themselves, their body offering patience instead of pressure. Their hands remain still. Their voice stays quiet. The puppy's heart beats quickly, but your own breath slows as you witness the delicate beginning of trust. Inside the puppy's brain, chemicals begin to stir. You drift into the softness of oxytocin, the hormone of comfort, of connection. It flows gently, like sunlight touching the surface of cool water. Oxytocin is not loud, not fast. It arrives slowly, calming the pulse, quieting the body's alarms. You begin to see how this hormone helps build bridges between strangers, how it tells the body, "You are safe now. You can begin to trust." You feel the shift as the puppy inches forward, drawn not by logic, but by the soft pull of hope. The rescuer's hand remains steady, patient, waiting for the puppy to choose the moment. And when the puppy finally presses his nose to the rescuer's palm, it is not a grand moment. It is quiet, almost like the air itself has exhaled. You realize that trust often begins in silence, in the simple exchange of breath, in the calm presence of someone who does not rush you. The puppy's body softens, his trembling fades, his breathing finds a slower rhythm, gently matching the rescuer's. They do not speak, but a conversation has already begun. A conversation written in touch, in scent, in heartbeat. You linger in this meeting, knowing that something has changed. The edge of fear is no longer sharp. It has softened, melting slowly into the first warm layer of safety. And as the rescuer gently gathers the puppy into their arms, you may begin to wonder how healing begins. Not in grand gestures, but in the smallest acts of care, in the quiet patience of tending to what is fragile. Healing begins in quiet moments. You sit beside the puppy now, watching the rescuer's hands move with soft precision, cleaning dirt from tangled fur, brushing away dust from tiny paws, offering sips of water that shimmer like morning dew. Each gesture is slow, patient, without urgency. You feel your own breath fall into this gentle rhythm. The puppy's body is tired, worn from days of waiting, but within him a quiet magic stirs. Healing is not loud, it is not quick. It unfolds like the slow blooming of a flower, petal by petal, almost too gradual to see. You drift into this softness, into the steady pulse of repair. You begin to understand that the body carries its own wisdom. Beneath the surface, cells gather like careful builders, weaving torn skin back together, knitting tissues with delicate threads. These cells do not rush. They work in calm, steady waves, guided by a plan written deep within life itself. You think of platelets, tiny guardians that rush to cover wounds, forming soft shields to protect. You think of white blood cells, quiet watchmen that patrol for danger. The puppy's body knows what to do. It has always known, even when he is too tired to notice. There is warmth here, too. The rescuer's hands bring comfort, their touch sending signals to the puppy's brain. You are safe now. You can rest. The body listens. Muscles soften. The tightness begins to ease. You notice how healing asks for patience. There is no way to force it. No way to rush the quiet weaving of new skin. The slow filling of an empty stomach. Healing moves at its own pace, like the turning of the seasons. The puppy takes his first careful bites of food, each one a small return to strength. His body accepts nourishment like the earth soaking in rain after a long, dry spell. Each sip of water, each bite of food tells the body, you can rebuild. You feel how these moments are stitched with trust. Healing is not only of the body, it is of the heart, of the space where safety begins to take root. The rescuer speaks softly, their voice a thread that wraps gently around the puppy's senses, soothing, steady, kind. As the puppy settles into warm blankets, His breathing slows, his body leans into rest, and you begin to wonder how the language of love is learned, how small, patient acts can teach the body to feel safe again. Love begins quietly, like a breeze you can only feel when you are still. You watch as the puppy steps into his new home, his paws pressing softly into this unfamiliar world. There are no spoken promises here, only small gestures, the offering of a hand, the slow blink of trusting eyes, the quiet invitation to come closer. You begin to notice how they learn each other's language, not with words, but with movements, with the soft rhythm of body language. The wag of a tail becomes a question. The tilt of a head becomes an answer. A lingering glance, a playful bow, a gentle nudge. These are the words they now share. You drift into the science of this bond, slowly. Inside the puppy's brain, neural pathways begin to shift. Oxytocin, the hormone of connection, flows steadily now, knitting comfort into his memory. His heart begins to slow when he is near the rescuer. His muscles soften. His breathing finds an easy pace. The rescuer's body responds too. The presence of the puppy calms the nervous system, lowers the pulse, invites peacefulness. They are now co-regulating, two beings gently balancing each other, their bodies learning to trust in tandem. You realize that love rewires the brain. Repeated moments of safety, of kindness, build new pathways. What once signaled danger now signals warmth. The puppy's past fear slowly fades, replaced by the gentle certainty that he is safe, that he belongs. You notice how love is practiced in the quiet details. The rescuer learns when the puppy needs space, when he is ready to play, when he is asking for comfort. The puppy learns the soft patterns of the rescuer's steps, the meaning in a hand's direction, the sound of their voice when it hums with joy. You see how their hearts, once distant, now move closer in rhythm. In this shared language of gestures and glances, something deep is forming, something that does not need to be rushed. And as they curl together in peaceful rest, you may begin to wonder how calm grows between two hearts, how stillness can be shared, and how the quiet rhythm of life begins to gently harmonize. Calm begins to grow in the soft spaces between moments. You watch as the puppy and the rescuer settle into the quiet rhythm of daily life. The slow walks beneath gentle skies, the shared naps in the hush of afternoon, the peaceful watching of sunlight as it drifts across the floor. These are not grand adventures. These are the small, steady rituals where love deepens, where bodies begin to move in harmony. You feel yourself slow with them, your breath falling into the same quiet rhythm. There is no rush here. There is only the soft unfolding of trust, of ease, of belonging. You drift into the science of calm, gently. When the puppy curls close to the rescuer, their heartbeats begin to sync. This is not a coincidence. It is a natural process called co-regulation, where two beings adjust to each other, where the nervous system listens and responds. The rescuer's steady breathing soothes the puppy, and in return, the puppy's presence softens the rescuer's body, lowering stress, quieting the mind. You begin to see how calm is something shared. It is passed from hand to paw, from glance to heartbeat, from breath to breath. Oxytocin still flows, weaving threads of comfort. But now, there is something more. The gentle release of stress hormones, the soft dissolving of old fears. The body remembers safety. The puppy no longer startles at every sound. His muscles no longer hold the tight grip of worry. He walks with light steps now, his tail lifted with quiet curiosity. His body speaks a new language, a language of comfort, of peace. You notice how the rescuer changes too. There is a softness in their shoulders, a gentler pace in their days. The weight they once carried has begun to lighten, eased by the quiet companionship that now walks beside them. Calm, you realize, is something you build together. It is not always found. Sometimes it is created, carefully, patiently, over time. It lives in the spaces where no words are needed. In a soft gaze, a resting head. A simple moment shared by a window where the world can pass slowly by. And as you linger in this peaceful rhythm, you may begin to wonder how companionship shapes not just the heart, but the very way we move through the seasons of life. Time moves softly now. You watch as the puppy, no longer so small, no longer so fragile, grows alongside the rescuer. Their days unfold like the pages of a quiet story. Morning walks become soft rituals. Evening rests become familiar songs. And the spaces in between are filled with the simple joy of being near each other. The seasons pass, but there is no rush in this rhythm. You drift with them through the gentle cycles of time, the pale gold of autumn leaves, the crisp hush of winter air, the fresh bloom of spring, and the lazy warmth of summer afternoons. Each season wraps their bond in new colors, but the thread that weaves them together remains steady, soft, and strong. You begin to notice how companionship leaves quiet marks on the heart. The puppy, now a trusted friend, no longer wonders whether he is safe. His body moves with calm certainty. His tail carries the lightness of trust, and his eyes reflect the warmth of belonging. He knows this place is his home. He knows this person is his forever. The rescuer, too, has changed. There is a softness in their hands, a peace in their breath. The stress that once curled tightly in their chest has loosened, untangled by years of quiet comfort and shared presence. Their body holds the calm that comes from knowing they are no longer walking alone. You drift into the science of lasting bonds. When love lingers over time, it reshapes the brain. Neural pathways strengthen with each moment of trust, each shared ritual. Oxytocin continues to flow, not as a rush, but as a steady current, a soft hum that deepens connection. Even the amygdala, the part of the brain that signals fear, begins to quiet, its edges softened by long, gentle years of safety. You begin to understand that loyalty is a kind of melody. It is not loud or demanding. It is the background music that plays through the days, the familiar footsteps, the shared glances, the quiet waiting by the door, the steady return. The puppy knows his rescuer's rhythm. He feels it in the way they wake, the way they walk, the way they rest. The rescuer feels it too, their heart attuned to the small sounds of their companion, the soft shuffle, the quiet breath, the gentle weight curled at their side. You realize that love is not something that fades. It lingers like the scent of rain in the soil, like sunlight pressed into the skin, like a memory that rests inside the body. Even when years pass, even when seasons change, the bond remains, soft, steady, ever present. There are no grand moments here. There is simply the quiet treasure of ordinary days, of soft fur beneath the hand, of warm eyes meeting yours, of knowing that, wherever you go, a friend walks beside you. You notice the puppy's steps slowing with age, the gray beginning to dust his fur, but the bond does not dim. It only grows quieter, richer, like a familiar song hummed gently through the years. You breathe into this companionship, feeling the deep comfort it brings, the peaceful weight of a friend who stays. And as you walk with them beneath the soft stretch of sky, you may begin to wonder how memories shape the spaces we leave behind, how love echoes long after the footsteps have passed. You settle into the quiet now, breathing softly, your body warm and still. The story of the puppy, his waiting, his rescue, his healing, all of it lingers like the last touch of sunlight on the skin. You feel it in the space around you, in the gentle air, in the calm that rests over this moment. Every rescue leaves a ripple. You drift into this thought, slowly, like stepping into calm water. One small act, a hand reaching out, a heart choosing to stay, stretches far beyond its first moment. The rescuer may think they saved just one life, but you begin to see how each life touched by kindness touches others in turn. You wander through the science of ripples, softly. In the natural world, small shifts can change great things. A single drop of water sends waves across a pond. A single seed grows a forest. A quiet choice echoes through time. This is the science of systems, of connection, of how nothing stands alone. You begin to understand that kindness does not disappear. It lingers, it travels, it shapes the space around it. The puppy's rescue is not only his story. It becomes part of the rescuer's story, part of the people who witnessed it, part of the quiet memory that may inspire another gentle act. You think of how the brain remembers kindness. The memory of being cared for releases oxytocin, calms the nervous system, and weaves new pathways that help us feel safe again. These moments leave lasting imprints, soft echoes in the mind and body that remain even as time moves on. The puppy carries these echoes, in the way he trusts, in the way he greets the morning with steady steps, in the way his body has learned to rest without fear. He becomes, quietly, a ripple of rescue moving outward, touching others simply by being. The rescuer carries these echoes too, in the quiet peace that settles into their days, in the softened lines of their face, in the steady comfort that comes from having saved a life. They may not see all the ways they've changed the world, but you can feel how the world has quietly changed. And you, resting here, carry the echo as well. You have walked through this journey, felt its softness, breathed its rhythm. You have seen how patience, trust, and love leave imprints that do not fade. Perhaps you begin to wonder how your smallest kindnesses travel, how a soft word, a gentle gesture, a quiet choice to stay might ripple into places you may never see.